Who are you?
Question is, who are you?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 superheroes who deserve better.
Who are you? What have you done with swords?
I'm Hella.
For this list, we'll be looking at superheroes in live-action cinema who were done dirty in story arcs or films we saw on screen. If you could have the abilities of anyone in this video, who would you choose? Let us know in the comments down below. Number 10, Frank Castle. While he got a lot of love for several Netflix TV shows, his film appearances have been less celebrated. The 1989 film adds nothing. So we'll start with 2004's The Punisher with Thomas Jane. Critics found the film joyless and a pretty standard revenge storyline, but it still made more at the box office than its budget. But with the sequel called off, as Jane had creative differences, it was followed with a reboot in 2008's Punisher Warzone.
This is where the Punisher comes in. This is why I believe in you, why I've supported you all these years.
But even a great cast featuring Ray Stevenson as Castle and Dominic West as Jigsaw couldn't bring in the cash at the box office. Punisher is a difficult character to do well in a superhero universe, especially when limited to a film franchise.
You're leaving.
I have work to do. Read your newspaper every day, you'll understand.
Which section?
Obituaries.
Number 9, Johnny Blaze. When it was announced that Ghost Rider was getting his very own film in 2007, fans were dripping with anticipation at seeing the flaming skull, chain-wielding character on the big screen.
Looking for someone.
Back to hell.
We're not gonna have a meaningful conversation now, are we?
You're going down.
This was a chance to see a gritty exploration of Marvel's supernatural realm, similar to what Blade did. But then, well, we got Nicolas Cage amping it up as Johnny Blaze. Usually a great performer, Cage often overacted in the role, which is all anyone can remember. Still, it wasn't all bad as the film had some financial success at the box office. So, with 2011's Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, fans were carefully hopeful. But that got dashed when the filmmakers leaned into the kooky by having Cage's Blaze be even more strange throughout. Number 8, Wanda Maximoff. Okay, things got a bit rough for the Scarlet Witch after Captain America Civil War, when she lobbed an explosive crossbones into a building, but still, that was an honest mistake. Fans were on her side when she wrecked Thanos in Avengers Endgame, but after that, her next film outing was in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Corrupted by the Darkhold, she went looking for her children across the multiverse.
I'm going to leave this reality and go to one where I can be with my children.
Wanda, your children aren't real. You created them using magic.
That's what every mother does.
On top of attempting to steal the powers of America Chavez, Wanda didn't let anyone get in her way. So, she graphically slew the Illuminati. Even fan favorite Charles Xavier was a victim, which is pretty unforgivable. It's going to take a lot to showcase her as a hero after all that destruction. Number 7, Armando Munoz. Making his screen debut in 2011's X-Men First Class, Munoz, known as Darwin, was treated like a big deal. After all, his power to adapt to any situation to survive is pretty nifty.
Check this out.
In the comics, when he was faced with the raging Hulk, he develops a teleportation power to get away. Yet, in the film, when Sebastian Shaw appears to the young mutants to recruit them, Darwin tries and fails with a little double cross.
Alex, get out! Do it!
Shaw responds by redirecting Havoc's energy into Darwin, causing him to perish. But how? He should have just adapted to the massive amount of energy. It doesn't make any sense.
Adapt to this.
Even actor Eddie Gathegi wasn't pleased with Darwin's demise and felt the filmmakers missed out on a great cinematic possibility with that power. Number 6. Natasha Romanoff. In the early days, the MCU was pretty void of women heroes. In the Avengers, it was just Black Widow.
I assume the whole place is surrounded.
Just you and me.
And your actress buddy, is she a spy too? They start that young?
I did.
Who are you?
Natasha Romanoff.
But instead of putting everything behind her and giving her a solo movie, Marvel didn't bother. Instead, giving Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America multiple individual films. Eventually, it was announced she was getting her own movie, and fans rejoiced. But then, Natasha Romanoff kicked the bucket in Avengers Endgame.
It's
Suddenly, the fans were a lot more skeptical. In 2021, we saw the release of Black Widow, and some people were happy this finally happened.
You okay?
Why wouldn't it be?
I hear things. Something about the Avengers getting divorced.
It's fine. I'm actually better on my own.
But it was obviously set before the events of Avengers Infinity War, and many felt it was redundant as Romanoff's story wasn't going to lead anywhere. Number 5. Jonah Hex. What if we told you there was a film about a supernatural cowboy that featured an amazing cast of Josh Brolin, John Malkovich, Megan Fox, Michael Fassbender, Will Arnett, and Michael Shannon?
Watch this.
Hey, Hex!
What happened to your face? Got myself shaven.
You would be pretty excited, right? Well, so were we. Until we sat down for 2010's Jonah Hex. The film was messy, disjointed, and made none of the characters likable or interesting.
Ain't safe here, Jonah. I'll be coming for you.
They always do.
According to Brolin, at one point, they reshot 66 pages in 12 days. He hated his experience in the movie, and so did the audience. With a budget of $47 million, it made $10.5 million at the box office in the States.
Sorry about it, Jim.
It had a limited release internationally that only brought in around $360,000. Yikes. Number 4, James Buchanan Bucky Barnes. From being Steve Rogers' bestie, surviving a catastrophe, losing an arm, being brainwashed into an assassin for decades, breaking free, and joining the Avengers, Bucky has been through the ringer in the MCU.
What did I do?
Enough.
Oh, God, I knew this would happen. Everything Hydra put inside me is still there. All you had to do was say the goddamn words.
Yet, after playing a role in saving the universe in Avengers Endgame, Bucky saw his BFF leave and return as an old man, ruling Rogers out in future films. The former Winter Soldier is kinda directionless now, with a boatload of past guilt to trudge through. While his previous deeds have been explored in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the same treatment hasn't happened on the silver screen. As such, there's a danger of Bucky falling into irrelevance or his redemption arc being changed into a heel turn. Number 3, Harley Quinn. With the amount of love Margot Robbie has for the character alone, you would expect DC to be fully invested in making Harley Quinn a mainstay in their films.
What?
After all, the animated TV show is beloved, but the live-action version doesn't get the same respect. Firstly, Quinn had to carry 2016's Suicide Squad. Next, she did great in a poorly marketed Birds of Prey film in 2020. Then, she was a bit part player in the reboot for 2021's The Suicide Squad.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Had to go number 2.
Good to know.
Finally, there was the nightmare future in Zack Snyder's Justice League, where she perishes off screen. Her DC film history has really been all over the place, and for a character as interesting as Harley, that's not great.
What's with the javelin?
I'm waiting for God to tell me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, or him, or any of them really.
Number 2, Peter Parker. Now, before you get too annoyed, we're not talking about Tom Holland. Instead, Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker.
Are you having trouble finding yourself?
No? Yeah, I got it.
After seeing him reprise the role in 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home, we all wondered, what could have been? Especially the impact we felt from his emotional speech about coping with Gwen's loss.
I couldn't save her. I'm never gonna be able to forgive myself for that.
But I carried on, tried to keep going.
After a debut success in 2012, the reaction to 2014's The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was mixed. Still, fans were excited to see how Parker copes after his devastating loss. There were plans for a third and fourth edition to the Amazing series, but they were canned.
But there will be dark days ahead of us too. There will be days where you feel all alone. And that's when hope is needed most.
Sony and Marvel had negotiated a new working relationship by introducing Spider-Man into the MCU, sadly destroying Garfield's take on the character. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Carol Danvers. Being pushed hard in the MCU has resulted in some backlash against the character.
Hi, I'm Peter Parker.
Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me?
Rick Flag. After leading the first Suicide Squad and joining the second, Flag is slain as a plot device for Peacemaker.
Keeping the peace is worth any price, including the life of a hero like yours, sir. So please, don't make me do this.
Janet Van Dyne. Known as a founding Avenger in the comics, she was locked in the quantum realm for years in the MCU.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Clark Kent. When you picture a superhero, 9 times out of 10 it'll be Superman. With that in mind, he should have a sprawling film franchise. But Soap's recent history has been a mixed bag. Even though he took part in some amateur spinal readjustment on General Zod and Man of Steel, fans were still excited with Clark Kent facing off with the Dark Knight in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Consider this mercy. Tell me. Do you bleed?
But then it got weird. Even though the two heroes went to war, apparently realizing that their mothers share the same name was enough to get them on the same team.
Why did you say that name? Martha, why did you say that name?
Stop! Please, stop!
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name!
That moment tarnished everyone involved. DC just doesn't seem to know what to do with Superman on the big screen.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.